you.
Hey,
All right. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Policy of the meeting to order. Start with the consent agenda. Does anybody on the council have any questions on the consent agenda? If not, can I get a motion?
I move to approve the consent agenda as presented and authorize the mayor to sign.
I'll second.
Mail,
Aye.
Hayes,
Aye.
Beckman,
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have comments from the public. Terry, I assume you're here just to observe the later agenda item.
Yes, I'm the only public.
All right. Annual designation of depositories for city funds is something obviously that it says that we do every year.
Yeah, so we do have 5 banks in town, so we typically just authorize all 5 banks, and that way we can utilize them to get better interest rates.
And you have any questions on that? No, is there a motion?
I move to designate Security Bank of Kansas City, Great Southern Bank, First Security Bank, First Action Bank, and Landmark National Bank as depositories for city funds.
I'll second.
Mail,
Aye.
Hayes, Beckman,
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Thank you. It is good to have so many good things here. I don't ever think about that until, I don't know if that's typical for a town our size to have so many to offer us to the competition. Next, annual resolution authorizing the city manager to pay claims. I believe this is something that we started doing when we moved to 1 meeting a month. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, this allows us to pay bills timely, so we don't accrue penalties.
Is there any questions on that? If not, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-001, authorizing the city manager to pay claims pursuant to KSA 12-105B, parentheses E.
A second.
Mail,
Aye.
Hayes, Beckman,
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Thank you. Moving on to new business, the new housing incentive program amendment.
Yes, so we have discussed this at work study a few times, so just give a brief overview. In May 1995, a petition for public improvements was filed to do the extension of municipal water and sewer services. The sewer was along US Highway 169 in the right of way, and it connected to the existing sewer system. The approximate amount of the improvements was $1,570,000. In order to help get some of that feedback in the municipal code, they did a special section for connection rates that would connect to this sewer line. This is also, as we previously discussed, this is the only sewer line that we have in the county as of right now. The special rates would be $2,000 per acre for properties located west of 169 and $4,500 per acre located east of 169. So we have had some interest expressed for a newly constructed home in the county to connect to the sewer line. And with the Miami County zoning regulations, the minimum lot area for a house to connect and to have just a house for a homestead is 15 acres. So for this house or any other house that wants to connect, if they go by what our city code has, for properties west of 169, it would be $30,000 to connect, and east would be $67,500. So as we discussed as part of a compromise in an effort to keep the original intent of the municipal code to try to get some of those fees back, but also to give the homeowners that want to connect an incentive, we came up with the option of amending our existing housing construction ordinance to add a section for those homes connecting to the 1995 hospital sanitary sewer system. The reduction in fees would be 50% reduction of the utility connection fees, which would equal 15,000 for properties located west and $33,750 for properties located east. So 50% reduction of the utility costs. That is the max that we have ever given for a housing incentive, part of our housing incentive program. So we thought that would be efficient. So you have the attached ordinance with you, and I do want to state that in your memo, I did make a big mistake, and every time an example, I had the east and west switch. So I presented it right, wrote it wrong, just so we're clear. So in case that confused you while you were reading. But other than that, I don't, if you have any questions, we are here to answer those, but you have the draft ordinance with you with the amended language included.
So the only thing that was really changed is on the very back page, that added section about that addresses the 1995.
Yes, that is the only thing.
Mhm. Everything else is exactly the same.
Yes.
Anyone have any questions? If not, is there a motion?
I do. I move to approve ordinance 3197, amending the new housing construction initiative program.
Second.
Smale,
Aye.
Hayes. Aye. Beckman.
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, and you guys are gonna follow up with Mr. Fresca with the paperwork and,
Yes, absolutely.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Public is leaving.
All right, amend water rates.
Yes, so we have also discussed this a few times, but so the city utility fund purchases water from the PUA treated water and disperses it through 45-mile network of pipes to all of our citizens. This is an enterprise fund, so it's supposed to be set up like a business. You're supposed to bring in enough money to cover your expenses and operations and everything. Unfortunately, our current rate structure does not do that. Over the last 3 years, the fund has eaten away the reserves that were built up to approximately $187,000. That took about 10 years to get to that amount. This is largely due to the fact that the city was purchasing water for a greater amount than what we were charging our customers, and that was with good intentions to try to alleviate that fee. We just did it for quite longer than we probably should have during that time. See here, the current rate structure obviously does not fully fund the operations maintenance of all the utilities or build a reserve, pay for outstanding debt, and it does also not create a capital improvement buffer for us. So we can't use that for a capital improvement project. So we have to get those out of a different fund. We have attached the chart that we went over in work study that has some of the potential revenues to be generated for the established rates. If you look at the chart, the very top has the two rates. The lower rate is citizens within the city, and the higher rate is citizens outside the city that are connected to our water. There's not a ton, but there's a few. We have also modified the examples of the bills below. So that it follows the columns. 2022 would be the current, 2023 would be an adjustment of a 18-cent increase. 2024 would be a 5 cent, and 2025 would be an additional 5 cents. So in the ordinance that's included, we had the rate increases, like I just said, the 18 cents per 100 gallons for 2023. But we also wanted to include a couple years forecasting out, like we talked about, so the public is aware that there'll be increases coming. So 2024 would be a 5 cent per 100 gallons, as well as 2025. So also on the chart, you can see that how our reserves been eaten down. And in 2022, I do want to point out that it's only negative, I hate saying only negative 26,650, but that is largely because we took employees out of that fund to try to help minimize the impact of what it actually is. So that just kind of gives a brief overview of the unhealthiness of that fund that we need to try to bring. Also with this ordinance, we are not increasing the minimum fees. Those will remain the same. All we're increasing is the rate per 100 gallons.
On the ordinance summary, it says 121.
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That was a good call, Dave.
That was.
Yeah, it's gonna be, I mean, it's a hard thing for anybody, but like you said, not only do we not have enough to pay what we need to pay out of there now, we don't have enough to even, if something happens, if a project comes up. And 45 miles of pipes is not good to not have anything to work with, and so.
Also considering the age of the infrastructure
Mhm.
and adding the extra years of increases, PUA will also increase everything. So that will hopefully keep adding the margin, so that way we don't get so inflated each year,
Mhm.
so.
How is the PUA doing? Does it look like it's out there for the future? Like 50 years from now? I don't know.
Yes, we have available capacity to keep growing.
Okay, all right.
They did a pretty good job forecasting too, when they did that project.
I think the forecasting, the numbers show that we would like to have a greater population using it than we do have right now, but the ability to add on to it,
Yeah.
absolutely forecasted correct.
Okay.
Yeah, not the number of people using it.
Yes, we would like.
They had hoped we would have 3 communities involved.
Yes,
Yes.
that was the hope.
Any other questions on this ordinance?
I have a couple. So after this vote tonight, when does these increases start? Like next month?
On the January bill, yes.
Okay. And when the citizens see that increase, will it be noticed someplace on their bill, the reasons why, or will they just, if they happen to tune into this meeting, that's how they find out, it's word of mouth?
Mhm.
Is there not a public
It's
notice or something?
Published in the paper. We
Yeah,
publish,
okay.
that
Yeah.
summary will be in the paper.
Okay.
Yes.
perfect.
Anybody else? If not, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance number 3198, amending the metered volume water rate structure effective January 31st, 2023.
Second.
Mail,
Aye.
Hayes.
Aye.
Beckman.
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
Thank you. Next, we have the first water leak allowance request at 407 West Via.
Right, so this is Mr. Danny McKechnie's property. He rents out at 47 West Wheel. He was notified in November that he had a leak, and he came in at the end of December to request an allowance and a payment plan. I informed him I would look over his paperwork to see what we could do for him, and then realized that he turned in an invoice from Drywood Company. So we were questioning that. He didn't have a permit for the repairs from a licensed contractor. So once I presented that at work study and we discussed it, I did inform him that he would need to get the building permit and inspection done by the inspector. He came in on the 6th of January to get the permit, but did not have a licensed contractor at that time. And I did ask our meter reader today to go check his meter, and it looks like the leak has been fixed. So I think we're just waiting on him to get the permit. I did inform him that, so he's let that be a previous balance on his account, and tomorrow's shut off day. I let him know that it would need to be paid. And if he does pay it and you do allow him to turn in his paperwork, we can credit his account. But as of now, it's a previous balance on his.
So he still didn't question this Chappus drywall. This, what we thought may be a bogus.
I did tell him that we thought that was not a company. I told him I looked it up on Google, and he said it's there's some umbrella company, but I couldn't understand the name that he was trying to tell me it was.
If you just had a licensed contractor come in for the permit, that would solve it.
Yeah.
So this will be contingent upon, that's what it says in the motion.
Yeah, so if you want to approve his leak allowance, which it does seem that the leak for now is fixed, he could bring in the paperwork, and after that point, we could give them the allowance, but until then, he would actually owe the bill.
But this is a duplex.
Mhm,
And his water will be shut off tomorrow.
mhm. Cause this is the 2-month bill now.
I don't think we should do it.
I don't either.
He gave us a fake bill. I'm against
And he
giving him
didn't bring
a week
it.
allowance, period.
He didn't bring a contractor in or.
We don't know how his repairs are done.
It could be a whole lot of duct tape around the pipe for all we know.
So,
It just probably knows more
Got it.
about that part.
part of the reason to bring the licensed contractor in is the inspector is requiring him to dig it up for the inspection, and if it's approved, he can cover it and go on. If it's not approved, he corrects it until it's correct, right? So,
So he's still got a lot of money out there invested in this that he hasn't paid.
if he would have started the permitting process, yes, that would have been.
The ground that we saw where he had done before.
One bright point.
And we can't really say the holidays are preventing him from doing this. It's just he's stalling and stalling and stalling.
But there's two families living in the duplex.
Good point. Don't let him snow you, right?
Does he live in one side of the duplex? No.
He'll just have to come up with, he can go borrow the money or whatever he needs to
So-
do. I'm against
So what do
it
you-
because of the
He
fraud
did make a
issue.
large payment towards that previous balance.
Was it by check?
Maybe, oh gosh. I think,
I have
I'm
no,
not sure how he made it.
I have no problem if you want to turn the water back on for him and give him a month to try to catch up the bill. But I'm not against him getting a week allowance, plain and simple. The
Yeah.
fraud to me is just
And he still has to
unbelievable.
have it inspected.
And the renters are the ones that are gonna suffer.
That's the problem, yeah.
Not
Which I think that's why you said it.
That's why I'm saying, let's let him go ahead and turn the water back on, but he still has to jump through the hoops. And I won't be for him getting a leak allowance no matter what.
No.
So maybe more of a payment plan, because this is now previous balance and he has a current bill that has a little bit of the leak on it also, so it's quite a bit higher than normal.
And you told us that last week,
Mhm.
that he was aware of that.
Oh, yeah, I made sure he knew that needed to be paid, and he didn't. I told him we'd give him an extension, just like everyone else is allowed, and he didn't. He was sure he would get the leak allowance, so
Is it too late to file for an extension?
he can do it tomorrow morning.
I was gonna say, he still has an option to file for an
Yeah.
extension.
Well, I agree, with Dave. I don't think we should give him the legal.
It's setting a bad.
But a
precedent.
month.
Yeah,
So
we
if there's an
could take care
agenda item that I'm gathering council doesn't support and doesn't want to make a motion on, then what do we do?
You can motion to not approve the leak allowance.
Okay, let's do that.
so,
It would be a motion to deny the legal
Deny,
allowance.
yep.
right,
Okay. Is there a motion?
there sure is. I move to not approve the legal allowance for 407 West Wea in the amount of $615 contingent on Mr., how do you pronounce it? Mukiku, Mukiku approved permit and completed inspection.
I'll second.
Smale,
Aye.
Ace.
Aye.
Peckman,
Aye.
Shields.
Aye.
All right, thank you.
So do we want to still require him to get the permit, or?
Because he still has to have the work done,
You still have to do it.
right?
Well, no,
Or
we're
approved.
approved.
Oh, it's already
Yeah,
done.
It's just not gonna approve the legal allowance.
But it'll have to have the work approved.
He,
It would just, right now, it would just be noted in the file that it's.
No permit was
That
pulled.
no
Yeah.
permit was pulled for work completed, so if it leaks again.
Start over.
Start over.
He'll only have someone- He doesn't have to have somebody come in and inspect what he did.
Like, does your department have to do anything anyway?
Right now, I mean, we can send a letter to him and still require him to dig it up and if you wanna go that route.
Of course.
Okay.
He has to comply with what the city's doing to keep it all above board. What if he sells it tomorrow?
Sure.
Yeah.
But I think we all are in favor of probably giving them let him do a payment plan so he doesn't lose water for the tenant as long as he's making payments.
Let me say, does it allow for 2 payments for payment plan?
Yeah, we've done that before, a lot of two payments, so I can definitely set up something
Okay,
to work with him on that one.
because I don't want to face the tenant.
Current on their.
Yeah.
They are pretty prompt on their payments.
All
Is that right?
You did good.
Water leak allowance request for USD 368 at 403 North Hospital, and I believe this was the middle school.
Yes, so they, we know this one was repaired and they have everything that is, to be eligible for a leak allowance. So the $615 is the max. This was a pretty large leak also. I talked to Matt Meek and they just signed it and sent it in, so they know they owe the rest of the bill.
Any questions on that one? If not, is there a motion?
I move to approve resolution number 2023-002, authorizing, no, I don't. That's the whole wrong thing.
Yeah.
I move to approve the legal allowance for USD 368 at 403 North Hospital Drive in the amount of $615.
I'll second.
Mail,
Aye.
Ace,
Aye.
Heckman, Shields.
Aye.
All right.
So you can tell him you got the money.
There you go, Matt.
All right. Bond offering resolution number 2023-002. And this was exploratory, kind of, right? We're gonna start looking into this for us.
This just authorizing Greg Garnberg to move forward with the paperwork and we'll get our bond rating. We've set up a call with Standard & Poor's in a couple of weeks to go over that and get the rating and see how the bond market plays out.
All right. Yeah. Any questions on that one?
How much is the amount?
So after we spoke this afternoon, I did pull out that financing analysis that I gave you. I think it was at the December meeting. So with the interest, it'll be approximately 10.2 million. That would include the interest.
So those figures that are there don't include the interest.
That's for the projects.
Yeah.
And
And
then-
then,
that's what the bond is for.
Right,
and then the interest is separate.
Yes.
right.
So 10.2 with
But,
interest.
the one on this, I don't have that sheet in front of me. The baseball field was how much? It's
So
listed
that's included in the whole,
package.
yeah, in the whole Wallace Park plan. So the 4.2 was for all of Wallace Park.
But we have not ever voted on phase 2
No, we
of
have
Wallace Park.
Right.
not yet.
So why is that included in this?
So October 20th, 21,
Uh,
the council voted to approve the actual amounts to go forward with the project authorization.
It was 2,000 and, no, it was 2,600, 2,653,000.
That was just.
Those
for the
ball fields.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The project authorization that the council voted on in October of 21.
21.
Yes.
Yeah, was for the whole Wallace Park project,
All of the whole, yeah,
phase 1 and phase 2.
Ordinance 3181. So we took those amounts from that ordinance that was approved by council. We didn't change them or modify them or anything. We just kept going with what was previously approved.
And we can all pray for a good reading.
it's,
A good one.
yeah.
Right.
Well, yeah.
A++, that's what I have to do.
Usually
The
do
last
pretty good.
reading, do you know? Offhand.
Eight
Plus?
plus.
I feel like it was
Like
like
maybe
five.
plus.
Yeah,
So you're saying the total on that with the interest paid will be 10 million?
10.2.
10.2 is the approximate amount. Yeah.
And that's for the dam, the swimming pool and the baseball fields.
In the Wallace Park
The
project,
Wallace
not just the ball fields.
It's all of park facilities.
What other projects would that be?
We haven't decided yet. Just say whatever we decide on phase.
So that's
2.
gonna leave about 2 million left for other things.
I know we've discussed Rock Stadium improvements.
Yeah. we
And
haven't-
we discussed something in executive session that may be used out of that funds
Right.
just in the last executive session.
We haven't gotten to phase 2 yet, just the amount. We haven't gotten to the details of it yet.
So, okay. Whatever money is there will be spent, but it's not leaving much for the infrastructure, sidewalks.
You can't use it for
Sewers.
that.
No, yes, the sales tax wasn't for that. This
You
is
can
just
only
sales
use it
tax.
for what was in the sales tax.
I think that
Sidewalks are-
sidewalks are listed in there.
Yeah, not.
Sidewalks
sewers.
and parking lots.
Street, yeah, street.
Street, parking
is-
lot.
Which that's what
Yeah.
we've always done, right?
And so, yeah, their analysis on that first page,
Total.
yeah, is that like what they project the sales tax to come in at. So it was 17.5 for the whole time span of the sales tax, and that took out the pool reserve that we're gonna put that $150,000 a year, which left $15.2 million. So the remaining balance after the bonds would be almost $5 million.
There's sidewalks.
Yeah.
Parking
any
lots,
other-
streets.
Yeah.
And that's what we've always.
I thought-
handled it.
Originally, they said it'd be about 12 million.
That was Sid's conservative estimate.
Yeah.
This is from our bond attorneys.
Okay.
And we do need our parking lots done.
Yeah,
Bad.
Yeah.
Very bad.
pretty much all of them.
Yeah.
We need to add some maybe, if we can ever get to that.
Yeah.
The community center keeps.
It
keeps
leaves
that.
us a lot of money for the
Yes.
other projects.
Yeah. All right. Okay, back to the resolution. Was there any other questions on it? If not, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve resolution number 2023-002, authorizing Raymond James and Associates Incorporated to offer the city's general obligation bonds for sale.
And I'll second.
Bam,
Aye.
Hayes. Aye. Second.
Aye.
Shield.
Aye.
Thank you. All right, moving on to staff reports. Steve, do you have anything?
I'm happy to announce that we have a new officer. His name is Jonathan Roll.
Jonathan.
Jonathan Roll, ROLF.
Thank you.
He's a US Army veteran and native of Parker, Kansas. Hope to have him here tonight, but he's not available. And he'll be actually going to the academy the day before the next meeting. So we'll have to get him when he gets back in the academy. That's all I got.
Very good.
Congratulations.
So how short are you now?
We actually just lost one to a federal department.
Oh,
So we're actually still at six.
We're still breaking even.
Who'd you lose?
Our newest hire before him.
Within the timeline where they have to reimburse his training or?
It would not be considered law enforcement.
Okay.
All right, well. Maybe we'll be +1 here soon. Or more, +1 or more. Kirk, do you have anything?
No, we're taking some Christmas decorations down, questions for sewer. Should plug along.
Yeah.
Put in a fire line for the new church there. Whatever.
All right.
I looked up the dogs and the cats for registrations last year. We did with 125 dogs
Oh, gee,
and 20 cats.
okay,
But
20 cats.
Yeah, the year prior to that, we had 182 dogs.
Ah,
That's sad.
It's like dogs.
that, fewer dogs,
Cats, 25 cats.
25 cats.
Yeah.
They're all in 5 blocks.
I drive down the one after.
Yeah.
My grave.
One in our neighborhood, that's a squirrel hunter, so I'm like, okay,
Yeah,
I'm okay with it.
And I keep forgetting, don't get one.
And I'm updating the website, so if anybody would like an updated photograph on the website with your information, let me know. I'll take that. I can take that tonight. We can get it updated.
I have more wrinkles than I did last time. Oh, you know.
That's fine. That's all I have.
I don't know if they-
The building inspection department ended the year with 475 permits. Turf actually is beginning to be laid on the ball fields. You guys haven't driven by. And we have a planning commission meeting next Tuesday with an extremely full agenda.
Because you didn't have one in December.
Double up.
Yeah.
Very good. All right, Dave, do you have anything?
I have one comment and two questions.
All right,
I'm glad to see Casey's and was really shocked at how fast the outside building, but I'm glad to see it's going up. They may actually make their March deadline, they said. Second, I had one question, refresh my memory when the fiber will start being laid.
It's already being laid.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
So when will it be available?
That is a good question. It has to be done by May, I believe.
This year?
Yes.
Oh.
I believe it's sometime this summer it has to be, they had 18 months to get it completed as soon as we signed the contract, so.
They started out around the new PUA tower and they're coming in around the Baptiste and they're kind of work their way around over the course.
Well, good. And what's going in the old Miller Pharmacy building?
It's a Reach Church out of Lenexa.
It's
A Reach Church is what the name of it is.
Reach
Yeah.
It's a Baptist church.
Baptist, yeah, it's a Baptist.
That's
What was the name of the one that went into Windler's lumber? Windler's.
That's a plumbing outfit.
That's a plumbing.
What? You don't know the name?
Blue River.
Blue River, thank you.
And that's all I had.
Debbie, do you have anything?
One Stop Convenience is on track to open.
They're gonna be on the first of the year.
He called, to tell me he was ready for his inspection for his CMB license. And after I spoke with Keith, he said there were several things that still needed to be fixed. So that's where I know that ended.
Yeah, it all looked ready.
Where is it?
It's the old
Kramer's.
And they'll start construction on scooters after Casey's is up and going, is that?
They're separate companies doing them. The company that's building scooters is actually doing all the initial site development, so they have to finish that before they move to scooters. So
Okay.
they still have to do finished roads and some testing.
Yeah,
for
they're starting to
curbs.
test some water lines and sewers now, or started testing some sewers today, so they got to test sewers, test water lines, get the asphalt laid. They did call in some locations.
I saw that.
There today, so it's getting close.
And then the traffic light out there, I'm supposed to ask.
Still waiting on the contractors to get the materials. They've
Okay.
been turned loose, but they said it'd probably take 4 or 5 weeks.
He'll go.
We're getting close to that.
At least
Yeah,
you have
we're
a
getting-
timeline. If people have a timeline, they'll.
We're getting a lot of calls on it.
I'm sure I get, this is Hayes every day.
1.5 cars can make it.
I think there's more people wanting scooters to go in than Casey's.
Yeah.
Well, I got my app on my phone, I'm ready. I sent y'all invitation.
My cousin from Barnett's very excited.
It shouldn't take long, no bigger than that building.
Yeah, they're not very big.
Yeah, those
They're
buildings
nice,
aren't very
though.
big.
They're gonna be busy all the time.
Yeah.
All right, happy? Nothing?
Thank you.
Yeah, okay. Just want to thank Kirk and his people for that miserable few days you guys had. I was like, oh no, something's gonna break, it's too cold. So thank you guys for all the work during that time and all the time. And that's all I have. Making a motion to adjourn.
I move that we adjourn.
I second.
Real.
Aye.
Dave. Beckman,
Huh?
I'm usually doing it.
Shields.